What's up, people? It's DevSage here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you my old web developer portfolio alongside my latest portfolio. All right, so first off, we're going to be taking a look at my old portfolio that I built probably around 2016, 2017, back when I was still in college. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. So we're going to go to pkels.github.io/pk. And for those who are familiar with GitHub Pages, you might be able to recognize that this is a GitHub Pages link. It was a cheap file hosting solution. I didn't need any kind of back end or anything, so I just said, let me just throw it up on GitHub Pages. So yeah, so we landed on the homepage here. We got our kind of mellowed out orange black theme going on. So at the top we have our navigation, nothing fancy about this at all. On the right we have I have a little picture of me. I thought this was kind of cool, have this little hover effect going on. But yeah, and we have down below it we have our Jumbotron, our hero section here, and we have a slider transition with a couple pictures that I either took or was in the picture itself to some degree. So I guess starting off with this next picture. So this picture is actually a picture I took of the city from my old dorm room. This picture is a picture of the USC marching band after one of our games in Birmingham, I think. This picture is of me on my old motorcycle before it got stolen. RIP. This is a picture of my old keyboard, my old Keychron K1, I believe. But yeah, so other than that, we have our, Patrick Scott here, software engineer, full stack web dev, bachelor's computer science, University of South Carolina. Very lean, nothing extraneous, just who I am, what I do, and where I come from. I wanted it to be very, very lean and very concise. Scroll down a little bit. We have our About Me section. On the left, we kind of have two sections here. We have an About Me on the left, and we kind of have our Skills section on the right. But the About Me, again, a few sentences, very simple, nothing extraneous. Software engineer, full stack web dev. View some of my skills on the right. I'm a motorcycle enthusiast and a musician, and I make programming tutorials. And yeah, that's gonna be kind of the theme here. Just kind of really simple, very, very short. And on the right, we have kind of this. This took me a long time to get right, because I had this kind of transition here to get it flush like this. It took me a little bit, but we have this kind of Three.js skills ball sphere thing here, where I lifted some one of the Three.js sample projects, and threw it on my site and put my own words in it, basically representing each of my skills. And I thought this was like the coolest thing ever, like the best thing since sliced bread. Like I would just scroll through it and just zoom in and zoom out and twist and turn it for, like, I don't want to say hours, but probably collectively it's been probably some hours. But yeah, looking back, it's not the most functional, I guess. If somebody just wanted to come in and just wanted to see what I was about, they have to scroll and do all this kind of stuff, like, does he know this, does he know that? But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So scrolling down a little bit further to the portfolio section, we have some of my old projects. And I'm not gonna lie, some of these projects are probably like expired or not there anymore. I either let the hosting expire or the domains expire. So the site is more of an artifact than anything, but I think some of these should actually still work. So this let's see, V2V Yoga Studio. So Visas to Vicus Yoga. This was actually a project I built for, I think it was an Upwork client. She has a yoga studio in Oklahoma City, and this was the site that I had built for her to kind of advertise her yoga studio. I'm not gonna go all through it specifically, just kind of give a glimpse. But yeah, so this is actually still up, and I still use this on my new portfolio actually. But yeah, crypto ticker. This is still up, but it's kind of expired. I kind of let it sit by the wayside. So crypto ticker was kind of like a stock price ticker for cryptos. And let me show you what I'm talking about. It's probably like a Google image of it somewhere, like actually functional. Maybe not. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So this is actually this is mine right here. This is what it looked like. It's kind of like the scrolling stock tickers you might see. Like, oh, this is the coin. This is what it's currently valued. This is the market cap, and this is the, I guess, 24-hour percentage. Is it up? Is it down? But this is it right here. So yeah, so let's go back. That was just a little jQuery plugin that I built. I'm not gonna go over all of them. We have Scott Web Agency, which is, yeah, this is definitely not living anymore. Basically, I thought I wanted to kind of make like websites for different businesses and stuff, and this is kind of like my agency website. Never really took up, but it was a good run, I guess. And yeah, so some of these other little projects that I have, Availabook. I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos. Basically, I built Availabook as a solution to one of the problems that I was seeing in my old job, working as a library circulation desk assistant, where basically we had a list of textbooks that we let students check out for their classes if they didn't want to buy the textbooks. But I mean, we didn't have 1 million copies of each textbook. Sometimes we only had like 1 or 2 copies. And if, 4 students came up looking for the same textbook for the same class, we might not have it. And we didn't really have a way of letting people know when the textbooks came back so they can come up and check it out. So I built Availabook as a way to kind of say, all right, give us your number, and if a book that you're looking for isn't here, we'll send you a text whenever it gets back up to the desk. And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the gist of it. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, so this is not living anymore. But yeah, that was the overall gist of it. But yeah, so this portfolio section, we kind of have like a CSS grid thing going on here. This is, I think I was like just learning about CSS grid, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of like I always liked the kind of Windows Metro style. Like, let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Like the tiling for like the Metro. Yeah, so this pattern was kind of what I was thinking about. I guess I could have just like pulled this up, but I always liked how clean this looked. And I figured, like, how do I do that in code, in web development? And I figured out, oh yeah, we got CSS grid. So that's kind of what this was modeled after. And yeah, so let's scroll down to our map section. This is kind of like the paragraph of filler that you write for a paper when you're trying to hit that word count. I mean, this isn't really necessary. This is just kind of something that I felt like, my site is kind of small. Let me just add this jumbo section to fill it up a little bit. And it's just a map, essentially, of where I used to live at. This isn't like exactly where I used to live at, but I used to live in West Columbia, South Carolina. And this is kind of like, just a map of what's going on. I liked the idea of having this kind of orange theme kind of continue on, and I thought it was cute. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put it on my new site, but I thought it was a neat little addition. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I got my footer section here, nothing exciting at all. Kind of had this radial gradient thing going on, but other than that, just my email, talk to me. It's not even like a mail to link. It's just literally just my email. But yeah, so that's my old portfolio. So now we're gonna take a look at my latest and greatest portfolio, which some of you have probably already seen, and I'm gonna go over that a little bit. So we're gonna go over to, let's open a new tab. We're gonna go to pscott.io. All right, so we have my latest portfolio, my current portfolio, and first off, this is obviously probably what's going to catch your eye. We kind of have this particle boy type thing going on here. I'm really proud of this in the sense that nobody else has this from what I've seen. How did I do this? I found a plugin on GitHub which would allow you to take a picture of anything and basically transform it into a particle version, like so. So I took a picture of myself and basically ran it through this particle plugin type thing and essentially just embedded it on my site right here. And this took a long time to do. It took a long time to get right, to get it fluid and to get it such that it's responsive and that it's not like going anywhere. But yeah, so that's probably what's gonna catch your attention at first. But other than that, it's really, really thin. It's really lean. It's only one page. It's fixed, and all the information is right here. Kind of this minimalist feel. And what this was modeled after, I actually modeled this after another person's site that I found. Also a student that went to USC. I didn't know him, but he went to USC, and from what I can see, he went to go work at Google. I don't know if he's still there, but let me see, DylanMattacetti.com. So this was kind of my inspiration. So Dylan Mattacetti, software engineer or software developer. He got his email right here and his phone number, and then his Twitter, GitHub, resume, I guess, LinkedIn. Very simple. It's very similar to my site. I told you I modeled it after it. And we have this you see this Conway Game of Life here. And I thought it was just like so cool. I'm like, oh man, the life game, essentially Conway, is just kind of just doing its own thing in the background, and it's also simple, but it's so much going on at the same time. And I was like, oh wow, this is very neat. I want to model mine after this. And at first I tried to implement this Conway thing, and I did it, but I was like, man, this is so similar. This is too similar. I need to do my own thing. I need to make it special, my own portfolio special somehow. So I kept the model of this kind of centered information here, as you can see, but then I stumbled upon the particle plugin, and I just threw it in there. And I also have this gradient here going from the bottom left corner up to the top right, from this yellowish gold hue to black, which adds just the perfect like the cherry on top when it comes to the pizzazz for it. So I'm very proud of this. And we have a little programming pun in here as well, software engineer and full stack developer. But yeah, so we have 5 links here. We have my YouTube channel, of course. We have a link to my GitHub and my portfolio, which I'll come back to, my resume, and my LinkedIn. And then we also have the About Me section, or About Me link itself, which I'll click, and it will bring me to this, again, very lean, nothing outrageous, just a few sentences of who I am, what I do, and how you can get in contact with me. Software engineer, full stack developer, make programming tutorials on YouTube. Here's my resume, here's my GitHub, here's how you contact me. And that's it. That's always been my motto, kind of lean, nothing extra. All right, so we go back here, and also one last thing. This is very simple. This kind of flash here, that is, I believe that's a CSS effect or CSS animation that's just on a loop. It looks shiny. It's just like a white rectangle essentially with a slight opacity going from left to right over the text, I believe, but it adds this kind of shiny effect. So let's go to my portfolio here. All right, so again we have the Metro style portfolio here, just an array of the projects, and you've seen this project before. This is to Vika's Yoga, and as you can see, you hover over it, you have this kind of zoom effect. But yeah, so these projects are they should all be functional and up. I'll go over a few of them. So devsage.io down here, this is actually my site where I plan on selling some of my courses if I ever get around to finishing them. But yeah, devsage.io, you might hear about it sometime in the near future. But yeah, I'm planning on getting to the point where I'm going to release some paid courses for you guys. So keep a lookout for that. But in the meantime, the site is here, and it's in the works. All right, so let's go over to Everest. And Everest doesn't have a home page anymore. I'm just linked straight to the GitHub. But essentially, what Everest is, it's a live trading cryptocurrency bot for Node.js that I built kind of as I was watching a tutorial on YouTube on how to build a crypto bot, but the tutorial was in Python. The guy wrote the bot in Python, and I was like, I don't really use Python like that. So I thought it would be nice of a challenge to take the code that he wrote and basically port it over or translate it to Node.js. And that's what this is essentially. That's the code from this tutorial, from this guy's tutorial. He has a playlist of these videos, but I took that code and basically just converted it to JavaScript, Node.js, and there's the bot. Let's see. That's Derby Rush. Derby Rush is a site that I built for an Upwork client. Basically, he has a mobile app, and he just wants to be able to advertise it. So I built this app for him. Nothing fancy. Just, I think I just bought a template and kind of just modified it. But if it ever loads, you can see. So Derby Rush, the classic horse race board game. And we have links to the App Store, Google Play, and the Apple App Store. Nothing fancy. Download Derby Rush. Some call to actions down there. But yeah. And I guess to go in a little bit more detail for like this particular like popover page here, as you can see, we have we click on a project. We have this detail section here. It's the same page, it's just an overlay, and we basically just have this kind of transparency here. It makes the background a little bit darker and just kind of highlights what's right in front of you. Basically, you just have the image, the title, the description, and the tech stack for the things that I used to build the project. Yeah. And yeah, that's actually pretty much it for this. Like, I guess I'm not gonna go through all of the projects, but this is just pretty much it. And we have a way to go back home here. We see those particles just kind of land back in place like every time you go back and forth from this page. So if you like go here and go back, they like sit down in there again. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. All right, and that's pretty much it for my portfolios. I showed you my old portfolio here, which is kind of raggedy, kind of dusty looking, but then I showed you my new portfolio. And yeah, hopefully this can probably maybe inspire some ideas. If you have any questions, like how'd you do this or how'd you do that, feel free to ask. And yeah, peace.